Hi, welcome to Undead Yarn. My name is Heidi, and you can find me as Knitty Girl on Ravelry and Undead Yarn on Instagram. Hi everybody, how are you doing? This is episode 89, and it's been a while since my last podcast. Before we get started, I did want to mention that there are some knit-alongs going on, and this is the first month of the Whip It Good Cal, and I'm doing that along with Laura Concert, a crocheting Whovian, and Bookish Stitcher, who is Jeanette of the Bookish Stitcher podcast. So you can enter in all three podcast groups for prizes. And today I will be pulling for the prize for the month of June. Or there are two prizes. There's going to be two prizes each month. It's going to run through the rest of the year because I don't know about you guys, but I have so many whips and I'm tired of looking at all the bags sitting around. It's time for me to start working on them. So speaking of that, let's see if I have it in here. I can't remember which bag I have this in. And I'm also recording in my office again because all my stuff is here and it's just easier for me to do it in here. I am going to talk about ZK today, the Zombie Apocalypse, but I may not show everything that I got this time because it would take a really long time to talk about everything I need to talk about and show you everything I got. So I'll probably split this up between this week and next week. I will record another podcast next week because I do have a lot to talk about because it's been about a month since my last recording. Speaking of Whip It Good, I picked up one of my works in progress that I started, I think I looked and it was like 2013, 14 that I knit the first one. It was a show sample. This is the Pennywise colorway, and I have not dyed this for a while. If I do dye it again, it'll probably be a little bit more subtle, like the way I dyed it in the YOLO shawl that I knit. But I did want to finish the pair of socks because I still have... This is my old base that I used to have, the vampire base that was 420 yards, which was 80/20 merino, superwash merino nylon. This is the second one. Look! I had not even started the second one, so I'm trucking along, and I think I will definitely finish this before the month is over. And I think after I'm done with this one, I'm going to work on... I wanted to pull out my Via Haunt, which I started, I think, 2 or 3 years ago as well. And that one I knit with Spunky Eclectic yarn, and it was in this Swilent green colorway. And I'm almost done. I think I just have the last 20% to do. I just never finished it. I just put it down and I never finished it. So that is going to be the next work in progress that I'm going to pick up. The other thing I have, this is my Casey's Pockets to Go bag. It's the Yellow Rose Fiberfest bag. And I also have my socks that I was working on for in the... I think it's Karen Dawn Designs. Is that the name of her company? Let's see. No, it's Round Table Yarns. Ooh, you can't even see that. Woo! Here we go. Round Table Yarns. And I think I'm still at the same spot. I don't know that I got any further. I was going to start the second one. I don't even know if I did. Let's see. Did I even start the second one? No. Here's the ball. And the needle's still in there, so I'm still at the same spot with that one. I'm going to keep going on that. That's not necessarily a whip because I started that this year. I'm trying to work on stuff that I started several years ago, and I need to finish it so I have a finished project. So that's that. My next one is in my Silver Shed Studios bag. Y'all, I got to vend next to Anne. She's a sweetheart. At the Zombie Apocalypse, and I just love her and I love her bags. I did start knitting a sock in the... This is the colorway that I was inspired to make by the movie Crimson Peak, and it's red, yellows, red, gold, blacks. And I started the sock, and I just started the heel flap. My sock mojo right now is kind of It's funny, I'm knitting socks, but I just want to cast on all the shawls, and I don't have time. I'm trying to make myself, like I said, finish some things before I start new things. So this is what it looks like. And the lighting in here is pretty good today. I do have a second light in here, and the funny thing is I have the window open, but the overhead light is not working. And it's really frustrating because we changed it not that long ago, and I swear we put in one of those lifetime or whatever. They're not lifetime, but you know, the swirly lights that are supposed to last a long time, and it's already out. It didn't work, unless for some reason I don't know, my husband changed it, but it's not working. So hey, what's this lifetime thing? It didn't even last, what, like 3 months? Anyway, I digress. And in my kitchen counter crafter bag, which I love because it's got little spiders, look. They look like little doilies, but no, they're spider webs. Eee, there it is. And I have my stitch marker I got from Bacon Fairy. And it's so cute. It's got a little sparkly on it too. I don't think you can see it in the picture, but yeah, she was handing out stitch markers to everyone. I didn't do the stitch marker swap, but she handed out a bunch of extras to us, so that was nice. Anyway, in this bag, I'm working on my Dead Easy shawl number 2. This is in fingering weight, and it's a stockinette stitch instead of garter. And I am up to, let's see, I am up to row 56. No. I finished 56, let's see. 56 was a yarn over knit 2 together row. So I'm probably about to row 58. And I'm using a sock blank that I had, which is in the spider base, which is 463 yards. So you will be able to either use the spider base or the Von Fury base because they're both very close in the amount of amount of yardage. They both are similar. One's 463, one's 462. And I'm planning to use as much as possible of this yarn, just like I did for the Dead Easy shawl with the DK weight yarn. I had very little left over, so I'm planning to have very little left over. I showed this to one of my friends the other day, and she said it reminded her of one of the cat colorways, you know, about ancient fiber arts, whatever. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just, this is the way it came out. It was a sock blank, and I try to have fun with sock blanks. It's got browns and oranges and green in it. And I had called this one Holiday or Halloween Roadkill. So this is where I am. And as soon as I'm done with it, I have 2 test knitters lined up. Somebody else told me, Tania, thank you, that she would be available too. I need at least 2 test knitters. 3 would probably be enough. So, because I'm thinking I might charge for this one. It's a bigger one. It's taking me longer. It's more math. So anyway, that's where that is. And so those are all the things I've been working on. And I also have been spinning, and I meant to bring my eel wheel up and show you guys, and I didn't. But I have been spinning, and I've been spinning just some fiber that I threw in the dye pots to exhaust the dye. And of course it's orange and yellow. What else would it be from me? And it has some Angelina in it. And it's really, really wonderful to spin. If I ever did decide to dye and sell fiber, I may just sell this one because it's amazing. It comes already, it's almost in pencil roving. I don't know if it's thin enough to be considered pencil roving, but it is like, it's in sliver. And it's a continuous sliver. It's not like top. So it's very easy to spin, and it feels great, and it has sparkle in it, but it's not like overwhelming sparkle. Sometimes when you spin Angelina, it flies everywhere. This doesn't do that. It just stays with the fiber. So I'm very happy with it, and I will show it to you guys later. But if you want to see what it looks like, you can go on my Instagram feed. Actually, my private Instagram feed has me spinning on that eel wheel. So I love it. It's so cute. It's like literally this big. It's so cute and very portable, and I would have brought it up, but I just forgot to bring it up. Anyway, let me move on. Weeks in review. Of course, I went to the Zombie Apocalypse, and we had a wonderful time, Anthony and I both. It was 2 days of travel, 16 hours, a little over 16 hours to get there. First night we stopped in Wichita, Kansas, and just slept there, and then got up and left the next day. And the next day we drove to Austin, Minnesota, which is about an hour away from Rochester, and we stopped there because they had some kitschy fun stuff to do there. We went to the Spam Museum, which was fun. It was, I was really surprised at how many products Spam has. I didn't realize Hormel was such a big deal, but they own a lot of stuff I didn't know they owned, like the Applegate sausages, which are organic. They own that. They own, I don't know, they own some stuff I just was very surprised they owned. I didn't know it. And there's like so many versions of Spam. It's unbelievable. And they have it all over the world. It was in China, and some places they use it in sushi. It was just fun, you know, and they had some fun recipes you could send to yourself. And yeah, we had a good time there. It was fun. And we also went to, they had a used bookstore across the street, which was really cool. They sold used and new books, and she knew a lot about the history of Spam and like the way the town is, because apparently the town's kind of built up around it. That's the biggest industry there, and I think the second biggest is probably the school district. So it was very interesting. And then when we were done with that, we also ate at like a mom and pop type place where they had sandwiches, and like all this stuff on the walls was really kitschy. They had I posted a picture of yarn art. I don't know if you remember from the 70s, they'd put, and I don't know what you call it, but they'd put nails in a pattern on to wood, and then they'd spiral yarn around. And I took a picture of some of them. They had one that was an owl that was really cool, and there was one that was just like swirls. It looked kind of like a spirograph. It was just fun. And then we drove to Rochester and checked in, and I got to meet Anne Brody, which was wonderful, because I love her bags, and, you know, I did a kit with her a couple years ago, and she's just a really nice person. I met her, and I met, good, I do have both earrings in. One of them came out today when I was taking a shower, so I make sure I put it back on. And I met Megan and Amy, and Amy's little girl was hanging out with Grandma, who's Anne Brody, and so we talked, and she said her favorite thing in the area was, and I forgot to go see it, my husband saw it, was a statue. It's supposed to be a pretty popular statue that has a boy and a dolphin jumping in the air. Apparently the Mayo Clinic has a lot of aesthetic things that they've put up to make the whole area more comfortable and more like a home. All the buildings are connected. A lot of the hotels are connected to the Mayo Clinic. You don't have to go outside. I guess the weather there is pretty bad, so that's why it's there. But it was raining. I didn't have to go outside if I didn't want to, because I could walk from my hotel to the other hotel, which was nice. Everything's in the area. All the places to eat were in the area. There was even shopping if you wanted to go shopping. The library was there. I mean, it was just very convenient. And Megan and Amy were wonderful hostesses, and thank you so much for setting up this retreat. It was a lot of fun. After we did that day we went to, Anthony and I just went to dinner on our own. And then the next day I took a book folding class from Art Lover. That's her Ravelry name. And let's see if I can find the book. I think I had put it with all the stuff because I wanted to show it to you. She gave us each, well, some of us had asked her ahead of time. She found some extra books. So I think mine's over here on the shelf. Yeah, I put it up. So I got, and it's funny because I have read one of these. I can't remember if I read book 1 or book 2. But she gave us, she got a bunch of the Spiderwick Chronicles, and then she gave us directions for folding. And look, it's a heart. Isn't that neat? So it came out to be a heart. And she has directions also for making another one that has like a yarn ball and needles. So if I can find another book, maybe I probably need a book that's bigger than this one to do that, but isn't that cool? So that was fun. And then after that, that day I hung out with Java Jenny, Kitchen Counter Crafter. Her bag. She's the one who does the bags with the snap closures that I like. And Jeanette from Sun Valley Fibers and their friends. They're hilarious. It was a lot of fun. And I also hung out with Jen from Daisy Knits, and I just love her. She's such a sweetheart. I spent a lot of time with her, and she's just a really good person. And I got a spindle from her. Let's see if I have that in here. Like I said, if I don't have the stuff that I want to show in here today, I will show it to you next time. I don't see it in there, so I'm going to show whatever I don't show this time, I'll show it next time. And then Friday, I took a short row class, and I have the short row thing I did in my Ann Brody bag with my sock that I was knitting on. And I found out, after doing a bunch of different short rows, that I think I like the German short rows the best. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that. She gave us a pattern for a short row scarf, and this is so funny. It doesn't even look like a scarf to me. It looks more like a swatch, but I guess it would be a skinny scarf if I kept knitting and finished it. There's one side. There's the back side, and it was interesting to see which side you thought looked the best, and I actually like the middle section looks the best on both sides, I think. And that's the one where I did the German short rows. So now that I know that, I can probably start tackling some of those patterns I have by Josh Sort of a Knitter that I have never knit, because I kind of try to stay away from short rows unless, I don't know, I just tried to stay away from short rows. I have done some Susanna IC patterns that have short rows, but I've never had to do the one where you go back and pick it up on the purl row. And when I did it in the swatch, I didn't like the way it looked. It leaves like a bulk on the back. So I've always avoided almost every pattern that says wrap and turn. But now I know how to do German short rows, so time for me to start tackling other patterns. So after that, that was from Wee Sheep Knits, and she has a new pattern out, and I did download it. She was really sweet. She gave us a coupon code. They had a designer, what do you call that? A designer showcase on Friday afternoon, and I got some coupons for some discounts from like Prairie Girl. I think it's Prairie Girl Danny. I'm always mixing those two up. One does yarn and one does patterns. The one that does patterns was at the designer showcase, and she gave us a coupon code, and I bought the book from Megan, and I Rock Knits. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I have that one in here. Let me back up. It's a really great book with great patterns. I don't know where I put that either. I'm telling you, I thought I was more ready to podcast, but I'm not sure if that might be in here. Here it is. It's called Minnesota 16 Knits Inspired by the Road. And this is just lovely. And they did do a class on talking about how to, or about their inspiration for the book. And I didn't take that class, so I didn't hear all the stories, but when they first came up with this idea, they sent out a postcard to a lot of us explaining what inspired them to do this book, and it's very touching. So I am looking forward to reading, because apparently at each one of the patterns, they have written where they got the inspiration for the pattern. And I want to show you, there was one, they had a lot of the not the patterns, a lot of the things that you could knit in here, the samples, they had a lot of them available to see. I love that. I'm not a big sweater knitter, but there was, like, some of the sweaters in here don't look that hard. This one doesn't look that hard, and it looks like fairly simple color work, so I might attempt something like that. And there was another sweater that I just thought was really cute because it had some really unusual touches in it at the edge and here it is, at the neckline and then the hemline and also the sleeve. This is really, really cute. I like it a lot. It is called Hootenanny Hoodie. And this is what it looks like. Oops. Well, that doesn't really give you the pattern. I'm not very good at this new camera and where it's placing, but this is what, not this. Here we go. Sorry guys. I have to get better at this. I need to practice. This is what it looks like. And at the sleeve and at the hem, not only does it have that, I forget what it's called. I've knit it before, the herringbone look at the bottom. But if you lift it up, there were a couple of stripes there too. So it's kind of a neat touch. So if you wanted to fold it over at the hem or at the arms, and sometimes I do that, like if I push up my sleeves, or I might fold it over to keep it up. There were little stripes there, and I just think it does not look hard to knit, and I thought it was really cute and classy. So yeah, I might knit that one. But I'm looking forward to going back and reading what their inspiration was for each thing, because I do know the reason that they decided to do this was very personal. And I kind of like that shawl too. That's pretty cool. You can't tell from here. I don't want to put it too close because it will start showing the pattern. But that is a black and white stripes with the lace edging. There are several things in here that I think I would love to knit. Now, I'm not big on color work, but if you were, look how cute those owl sweaters are. And the owls go around on the back. So anyway, check this out if you haven't. It's called Minnesota 16 Knits Inspired by the Road, by the Road number 52. And it's by Corey Eckelberger and Megan Williams. And there's their picture. And there is the road. I'm guessing one of them lives north and one of them lives south. So that I was very happy to pick up. And I got that at the designer showcase. And I believe that you can buy that online now. And I think, let me check so I make sure I'm telling the truth. Yes, you can get a free ebook through Ravelry if you buy the physical book. So that was through Friday. Yeah, on Friday I hung out with some people from Dallas Fort Worth, and also from Rick from Whimsy Stitches. And oh, this is another thing I've been working on that I forgot to mention, but you all have seen this one in a while. This is a Whimsy Stitches bag, and it's a see-through one, but I love the blue bonnets, and I like that you can see what the project looks like on the inside. And it has a hook on it. You can see I have my Jeanette Bookish Stitchers podcast on there. And this is my font, Free or Fade. I think that was the last thing I was going to show you guys. Yeah. And I'm on to color 3. And this is the Purple Brain colorway. And then here is, I didn't name this one. I probably will, because I think I'm going to dye some more of it because I like the way it looks. And then here is the color I've been obsessed with, this light blue. And this one has speckles in it. The purple also has speckles, and I don't know why it's not showing up. It really only shows up in the sunlight, but there are some pops of yellow in there. And then here you can see it blends in because there's pops of purple, but there's also brown and burgundy in there too. And so this is where I am, and I do have several design elements, and I kind of stopped following the pattern because I memorized it. I probably should see when it expects you to bind off, but I'm thinking I may just keep going until most of this ball is gone. This is the blue one. You can't really see. It's blue, see? That's white. This is blue. Baby blue. And I used most of this one, so I'm thinking that the pattern probably calls for using most of this one too. So that was my last work in progress, and yes, I did forget to show you guys, but there it is. And then, what else did we do? On Saturday, that night, actually, my friend Julie invited me to go to dinner with her, so I said, oh, I gotta drag my husband along too. And so we went out to dinner with her, and I got to meet Marigold Jen, and she's a sweetheart, so it was nice to meet you, Jen. And then the next day was the vending day, and we got up really early. They started letting us set up at 6. I think I got there at 6:30, and almost everybody was already there. So everybody was up really early on Saturday. And we vended from 10 to 12, and then we had a lunch break, which is just wonderful. Normally when we vend, we don't get a break for lunch. You just kind of have to eat at your booth. But Megan closed everything down. Megan and Amy closed everything down, and so we were able to have lunch and then come back. And it's funny because I think all the vendors seem like we all ate in the same place. But Jen, 716 Knits, who has the yarn truck, was outside, and she didn't close up for lunch. She was still going. So I got to go to her booth during that time. And let me see if I have what I got there. Like I said, I didn't bring everything over here. Whatever I don't show today, I will show next time. It doesn't look like I brought it, so I will have to show what I bought there next time. But I did buy a skein of her yarn, and I bought a skein of this other yarn, and she didn't have a label on it, but it was by a company that takes mill ends and plies them together, and it's really cool. It looks like hand spun to me. It's like if you've ever seen a barber pulling skein of yarn, that's what it looked like. And then I also got from Tuft Woolens, I didn't know they had these. I'm trying to figure out which bag it's in. I think it's in my little Nevermore bag that I got from Summer's mom. She doesn't make bags anymore. I can't remember. Oh, Absolute Wonder. I keep a lot of stuff in here. Did I put it in here? No, there was a hand lotion that I got that it's like a roll-on, and it was by Tuft Woolens. I don't know where I put it. I don't know where I put anything, apparently. And it smells like honey, and I love it. And it feels really nice, which is good because I'm almost done with my Lola bars that I got 2 years ago. They lasted 2 years. Those things are awesome. Anyway, yeah, we did vending, and then in the afternoon, the morning was for the people at their treat, and the afternoon was for the public, so people from their treat and people from the public could come in the afternoon. And we did well. I was very pleased. Thank you so much, Megan and Amy, for giving me the chance to vend in Minnesota. And the other thing that was nice, we didn't have to worry about tax because, believe it or not, there's no tax on yarn in Minnesota. So Saturday, I spent the evening hanging out and eating dessert. And I was hanging out with Jen of Daisy Knits, and I met the lady from Yarn Geek Fibers. She sat with us, and then Mary Gale, who used to also have Spartacus dyes, and she said she might be coming back to dyeing again, which would be nice because I enjoy her yarn. I have about 4 skeins of it. I knit one of them. I love the socks. They're beautiful, and I'm looking forward to knitting some more. I did get a spindle from Daisy Knits that I don't have over here. I'll have to show you next week. It seems like a lot of stuff I'll have to show you guys next week. But I did get a spindle. She has them 3D made from a 3D printer. And the cool thing is you can get, I forget what the bottom parts are called. They're Turkish spindles. So you can take the bottom off and put a new one on. And I got a small one. You know, they cross like this. I got a small one, and then I got a larger one so I could spin with thin fiber or spin thick fiber. And what else did we do? That's pretty much what I did when I was when we were in Rochester, Minnesota. After the zombie apocalypse, we went to the Mall of America, which was, I think, about half hour, 30 minutes, maybe a little more. Maybe it was like 45 minutes away. And that was in Bloomington, Minnesota. And we stayed there overnight. We were at the mall like all day. I think we got there around 11 and we didn't leave till 4. So we were there all day. We ate lunch there and Anthony was like, I don't want to eat dinner here. We need to leave. And we had to figure out our way out. That place is so huge. They even have a big, huge amusement park in there with a log flume and I want to say a spinning wheel. They don't have a spinning wheel. They have a Ferris wheel and a Ninja Turtle ride, and there's a big Lego display. There's just everything there. It was like craziness, but we didn't go in the park, but we took mostly pictures of that because it was just really cool to see that in the middle of a mall. And it was huge. So we mostly went shopping, and I did find quite a few things. I kind of like that mall. If it was near me, I'd probably be there. I have this nostalgia for malls because in the 80s, that was where we hung out as teenagers. Your parents would drop you off at the mall before you're old enough to drive, and you'd just hang out there until like 9 or 10 when it closed, and then they'd come pick you up. So, yeah, I have kind of nostalgia for malls, and so I enjoyed it. And then the next day we went to Prince's house, and it was so funny when we drove up. It does not look like a house. It looks like a business, and not just a regular business. It looks like a business park. It's all this metallic stuff, and I put a picture of it on my Instagram feed, and I think somebody said it reminded them of Minecraft because it's very boxy, and it's all looks metal. It interesting. On the inside, it looks different, but they don't let you take pictures on the inside. When you get inside, they make you put your cell phone in this little case, and they lock it so you can't take any pictures. So you're not allowed to take pictures in there at all. And my husband was going to bring his nice, like, fancy camera, and he couldn't because they wouldn't let him bring it in. So we didn't get pictures on the inside, but I will not forget it. It was pretty amazing. The place is huge. I think they said it was 40,000 square foot. I'm a huge Prince fan. I love him. Well, it's funny. After we came back, my husband was doing like looking all his songs up and stuff on the internet, and he's like, I don't know if I like Prince. I'm like, I may not like him as a person, but he was amazing. He was an amazing musician. He knew how to play all the instruments. They said his first album, that's the other thing that was cool. They showed us the places where he recorded his albums. He had 2 recording studios in there. But his first album, he recorded everything himself. They said he produced everything. He played all the instruments. I mean, he's just was a talented guy. And yes, some of his songs may have been a little dirty and he was a little nasty, but he was so talented. So anyway, I enjoyed that. And then we went to the last day that we did hitchhiking. I don't hitchhike. I'm too old for that. The last day we went to Lake Minnehaha Falls, or it's not Lake Minnehaha. Why am I saying that? It's Minnehaha Falls, and it's a big, huge, massive waterfall in this park, this really beautiful park. And we hiked for 2 or 3 hours through the park, and it was so wonderful because the weather was just beautiful. The whole time we were there, it was probably 60s to low 80s. I don't even know if it quite made it to 80. It was in the 70s. It was just the perfect time to be outside. That was fabulous. That hike was just amazing, and I won't forget it. And then we went there was a Longfellow house because apparently Minnehaha Falls, it was the inspiration for his poem Hiawatha. And I don't know if you guys remember it, but when I think of that, it makes me think of Bugs Bunny because I remember they did an episode where they had a little guy canoeing through Minnehaha Park, and they were saying the poem. Longfellow apparently didn't live there. His house was in Massachusetts, but because that was the inspiration for his poem, they moved part of his house to the area. I didn't get to go in. It was closed. They were only open on the weekends. I guess it's not that busy during the week. But we also went through the back, and we got to see there was a garden back there, and then there was his statue was back there. So that was kind of neat. And we walked past the statue down to the water, and they had lily pads everywhere. Beautiful place. Beautiful, beautiful park. If you ever get a chance to go to that area, I would highly recommend it. And the hiking was not hard, but if you wanted to make it harder, you could. There were a lot of trails that were going up the hill. We didn't do that. I was like, no. When I was in my 20s, I would be scrambling up that hill, but now I'm like, I'd probably try to go up it and break my leg or twist my ankle. So no, we didn't do any of that craziness. So, but the hike was beautiful and wonderful. And then I think that's it for what I wanted to talk about my trip. let's see how far I am and how much time I've used. Oh, it's 34 minutes. Okay, I need to go ahead and talk about the prize winners for the Whip It Good Cal. We had 2 prizes. One of them I will show you. One of them was a skein of Hiwassee Creek Dye Works. Sorry about the crinkle. I'm not going to take it out though because I want to mail it like this. And it is in one of their Halloween colorways. And let's see, do I have the name? I don't have the name of it on there, but it is, I remember it is a Halloween colorway. It's gray and yellow and black and orange striping. So it's a 4-striper. And let's see, let me find my little book and I will tell you who the winner of that was. The winner of that was KTB. Oh, that's my friend Katie from Houston. Katie from Houston, let me know your address and I will send you off this beautiful skein of Hiwassee Creek Dye Works yarn. I'm not sure if they're dyeing anymore. I don't know if they are. So that's one gift. And then the other prize is elephant stitch markers. And let's see if I have those in here. If I do not, you can go and look at them on Instagram. And I will find them to mail them out. Oh, I think they're right here. Let's see if this is them. Yes, here are the elephant stitch markers. And these are from the Yarn and I, Cappy the Yarn and I. And that is actually a new podcast to me. I started watching her because Talia and Marlicia of the Pinhook and Needles podcast recommended it. And she is a lovely person and she is very talented in dyeing and she tries all kinds of new things with her dyeing and with her crafting. So if you are looking for a new podcast, I would definitely recommend going to watch her. She's very generous with giving out information and tutorials, and I really like her yarn. I'm going to show you. I bought a skein of her yarn and very sweetly she sent these. And she also sent some turtles, which are going to be, this is going to be the prize, one of the prizes for next month. She sent these stitch markers with the yarn that I bought. And here, let me show you the yarn I bought. That I actually do have here. And I'm sorry about the crinkle, guys, but there's no 2 ways around it. It's just going to happen. Isn't that pretty? It's on that new tweed, Donegal tweed that's colored. And this colorway is called Speckle 60s. And it's 85% superwash merino, 15% color neps. And it says hand wash. I'm surprised it's hand wash, but look at that. Isn't that stunning? And you guys know I'm really big on neons, but neons on tweed, oh, they're so pretty. So pretty. And she's also dyed a color, and I don't know if it's on the colored neps, I think it is. She's dyed a color for the Pinhook and Needles podcast Cardiac Red Along. And it's really pretty. It's more than one color red, and I believe it's also on the same base. So if you are interested, I would go check her shop out. She sent me a coupon code that she also sent to Pinhook and Needles, and if you type in the code undead needles, you will get 15% off something that is $25 or more in her shop. And she didn't give me an expiration, so I'm sure it's still going on. Go ahead and look. She also, like I said, she also has stitch markers. And yeah, and she has a good podcast. And now that I've rambled on, the winner of the stitch markers is Ange's Hip. And I know, Anne, I've got your address somewhere, but please PM me and let me know you heard this and give me your address again so I can send it to you. I believe you're in Canada, if I'm correct. So I will send you these if you send me your address. And then there was also an FO in the FO thread, and I wish that I had my, oh, I do have my phone. And it was by Lady Fernico. So Lady Fernico, who is Marlicia, you are going to win the $7 or less pattern giftable and Ravelry from me for your FO. And let me see if I can pull it up. It's very cute. It's one of Talia's new designs. It is a new turtle, and if you guys don't know, they're doing a turtle versus hare knit along or crochet along with Crocheting Hoovian. And here it is. Here's the new one. This is a sea turtle, and it's called Gypsy. She calls hers Gypsy. I guess it's Tara the sea turtle, but she used just undead yarn for her turtle. And I know that the top is the Jaws colorway, because they're all my yarns. This one is Club Tropicana, the arms and the head, and underneath you can't see the belly, but she used Treebeard, which is actually a color that I have dyed recently that I can show you. I will be right back. I will show you that one because I have it right here. She used this colorway, but she used it on a DK base. And this is various greens with a touch of brown. And it is actually a darker green than that. It's not showing up true to color. That looks a little bit better. No, it's darker than this, but you can go on Etsy and find it. So those are the prize winners. You guys contact me. This is going to be the prize for next month, one of them. And then the other prize for next month is a skein of yarn that I got from my friends at Night Owl Fibers. And it is self-striping. But look, guys, it's watermelon self-striping. See the speckles in there? So this will look like a watermelon on your foot. And once again, the green is a little bit darker. Actually, that is showing up pretty good, true to color. You can see the black speckles in there and the pink. So these will be the two prizes for next month for the Whip It Good. And all you have to do is post a picture of something that you've been working on that was started before June 1st that has been languishing. So pick up your whips, work on them a little bit, and post. And the one stipulation I have is if you post and chatter, that's fine. If you're just chattering, you'll be eligible for the stitch markers. But I have decided that only the people who post their whips or their FOs are going to be in the running for the yarn. Okay? And I also wanted to show you guys, I have one skein. This is not it, but this is what it looks like. I have one skein of fingering weight zombie campfire colorway left. This one is a DK. I think I have 2 or 3 of these left, but I only have one in fingering left. And once it's gone, that's gone. I'm not doing that one again. It was specifically for ZK for 2017. And then I also have brought back Wild Rumpus, and you can't, yeah, you can kind of see it. That's pretty good. Yeah, the colors are not pop, well, that's kind of popping. Yeah, they're pretty bright. I've brought back Wild Rumpus for this month because July 1st was my 4th year podcasting and dyeing. I started both at the same time, and it's been 4 years, and it's been wonderful. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to go full-time. I would have to make as much money as I make at my part-time job for it to be feasible for me to go full-time. I know there are a lot of people who have been able to go full-time. I don't know how they do it, but maybe they just have a different amount that they're wanting to make, or maybe they have a spouse who makes quite a bit of money. I don't know. I kind of secretly hope that one day I might have been able to go full-time, but at this point it's not looking like that's going to happen. But that's okay, because I am making money at this job. It does increase my income, and I love it. I didn't find knitting until 2006, and I've never felt so passionate about something in my life until I started dyeing. Oh my God, I love putting colors together. I love dyeing. I love the smell of the yarn when it's dyeing, even though my husband hates it. He says it smells nasty. I love everything about yarn, and I love sheep, and I love spinning, and I tried to weave. I don't think weaving is my thing, but I love the fiber arts, and y'all, dyeing that's my jam. So thank you for supporting me, and thank you guys so much for listening. And go post your whips, and I'll talk to you guys soon. With that, get busy knitting or get busy dyeing.